The meeting is called to order for March 18th, Harahan City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, please.
Councilman Asbell?
Present.
Councilman Buddy?
Present.
Councilman Chatelain?
Present.
Councilman Johnston?
Present.
Councilman Wheeler?
Present.
Mayor Bodier?
Present.
Police Chief Walker?
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr is absent. And Finance Director Todd Simeon?
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry?
Present.
And Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee, present.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to move the to amend the agenda to take up proposed ordinance 2021-5 directly after approval of the minutes. That is the Robert sign ordinance, and that family is here, and I'd like to see if we can get them on their way if we can.
Yes, sir. Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbell to move ordinance 2021-5 to right after approval of the minutes.
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion also to add Mr. Clayton to special presentations after Chief Walker, who's the president of River Ridge Civic Association.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Chatelain to add Mr. Clayton to special presentations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Asbell. All in favor?
Yay.
He's
5 yeas,
basically
0
like the
nays.
rest of Salt Lake Ridge.
Got it. Cool. Okay, is that it?
Todd, have you had an opportunity to put together that little analysis on the status of the capital fund?
I have, I would say, some back of the napkin calculations so I can share.
I'm
some
sorry, I can't
information.
hear you, Todd.
Hello, test, can you hear?
Better.
I do have some back of the napkin estimates, yes.
Okay.
I don't have a formal slide or a presentation show, but I
Thank
do
you.
have some information I can share with you this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to make a motion to add Todd Turnillian to a short presentation on the status of the capital fund immediately before ordinance 2021 3.
Do you want us just to move Todd, that's on the new business, up?
That'll work if you want to do your whole presentation at that time.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Buddy to move, or proposed, to move special presentation of, or I'll say new business of Todd Tunion prior to ordinance 2021-3. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended. 2021-3, is that what?
3, yeah.
Yeah, that's when we're, I think that's the one where we're doing some capital budget discussion.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe
Got it.
hold on, I can check real fast. Thank you for,
That's correct.
thank you.
Okay, just real fast under mayor's announcements. We've been working with the Lieutenant Governor on some projects. It's been really exciting for him to come spend some time with us. He's taken quite an interest in some of our ideas. It's just been an honor to have him here and to stop and hang out in Harahan and listen to some things that we've been proposing. And we're kind of really excited about it. It's really starting to pick up legs. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to put in a river study center right here in Harahan. And we think there's a lot of interest in it. We've got some interest in the Coast Guard and the Merchant Marines and the Pilots Association. So it's really starting to become something special. And it is a big dream and a big ask, but it's really starting to maybe turn into something a little bit more other than that. And we're really excited about that. Also today we got to meet with the Regional Planning Commission. We're working on some projects here. I'm hoping within the next year or so we have a lot of sewer infrastructure upgrade here. And by the end of next year, I'm hoping to have about half the city almost completely redone with sewer if we can get the funding to happen. And so it's been exciting. It's going to be some exciting times in Harahan, and we're really looking forward to getting a lot of things up to current date and getting things working like they should work. And that's it for me, Madam Clerk. While Madam Clerk's getting her stuff together, one more thing I'd like to say. I'd like to really thank Councilman Dino Bonanno. He has been really working hard with us, getting some of these water leaks done. We had 5 last week, 5 water main breaks. And he has been Johnny on the spot getting people out to help us with that. And we know that the water is at the toe of the levee now, so we would expect that that's gonna start happening a little bit more often as the summer starts to starts to get hotter. So please just stay in touch with us, be patient with us, and we'll get those fixed as fast as we can. But we do have a great team at the parish, and they have been very, very responsive. So I really want to make sure I thank him tonight. Madam Clerk, you ready?
Okay, special presentations, number 1, Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department.
Evening, Mayor, Council, viewing public. We had an armed robbery last Monday night, March 8th, around 8:20 p.m. at the 1600 block of Hickory Street. The lady was getting out of a car. 3 unknown subjects approached her, armed. 4th subject hit the getaway vehicle. It was a late model silver 4-door sedan. We're currently doing a follow-up investigation on this event. Recently in Jefferson Parish, there's been several robberies that have occurred when somebody has went to purchase or meet somebody over the internet to exchange an item or purchase an item, and the sheriff's office has opened an exchange zone in front of their office building on Metairie Road. For years, the Harahan Police Department has had the same type safety zone available. People quite frequently use our parking lot in the front, which is under surveillance 24 hours a day, and also our lobby. So if you have something that you want to buy, sell, or you want to meet somebody that you haven't met before, feel free to come to our lobby 24/7. It's under surveillance cameras, or use our parking lot for that. And if you notice, some of our officers lately have been wearing beards. The sheriff's office recently has allowed their deputies, if they make a donation to a nonprofit, to wear a beard. We instituted the same thing for the month of March, and we'll make a donation to the Harahan Playground after it's all over with. And the presentation was made at a future council meeting. And remember, there's a lockbox for unwanted medications, whether prescription or over the counter, in our lobby, which is available 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Clayton, River Ridge Civic Association.
Good evening, Mayor and Councilman. I'm here tonight to request a meeting on the Solvay Bridge between the River Ridge and the Harahan communities. This affects, and so I was instructed by State Rep John Ill to put together a public meeting, and so I thought to myself, it's like, this affects Harahan and River Ridge, and so we would like to work together with y'all to hold a meeting for a progress report on the bridge. Nothing more, no, and just want a simple progress report on the bridge and an end date, hopefully. That's what we're looking for. So I'm here to request a meeting and see if we can work together on a letter to DOTD, both River Ridge and Harahan, and look forward to a resolution. And hopefully we can get back to using that area again.
What would you like our next step to be?
Well, we need to put a letter together to a joint letter for River Ridge and Harahan, and to the DOTD, and looking for a public hearing and just an update progress report.
So we have been working with Representative Hill, also Talbot, Senator Talbot. Councilman Asbill has a little something that Representative Hill has sent back to us from DOTD. And I believe he could read it and
Yeah.
kind of explain a little bit, and then basically the problem's there, you know, it's being addressed. We just need to follow up, and mostly the state and the representatives and stuff, they need to follow up to make sure the low bid process is combed through a little finer than what it was combed through, because the lowest bid is what you end up with. I mean, I'm in construction, we deal with this every day. You know, your price gets beaten, look what they end up with. And that's what you get when you hire the lowest bidder. And I believe Representative Hill and State Senator Talbot are looking forward into how to eliminate these problems in the future.
Correct.
The problem we have now, I believe, is there. It's being addressed as fast as it can. It's not as fast as we want it, but it is being addressed. Like I said, I believe Councilman Asbill has a little something from Representative Hill to kind of brief us up a little bit.
Yes, I'll just read this. It looks like it's a statement that DOTD issued last week, sometime last week. It says Louisiana Department of Transportation Development offers an update on the ongoing Sauve Road at the Sognac Canal Bridge, which is being replaced by Jefferson Parish. DOTD provides oversight on the project and assists Jefferson Parish in the bid process, which use 100% federal funds obtained from the Federal Highway Administration. The $832,000 project removes and replaces the existing Jefferson Parish maintained bridge, which was built on timber piles in 1960 and has outlived its useful life. The bridge was closed to traffic in November 2020. The contractor, Bucktown Contractors and Company, recently encountered unforeseen concerns regarding underground utilities and materials from the existing bridge, which resulted in a change to bridge design, delaying the project's completion to May 2021. DOTD has been in contact with Representative Ill, who represents River Ridge, and is committed to taking necessary steps to expedite this project as requested by the Jefferson Parish Council through their resolution. So I guess the answer is May of 2021 is looking like the new completion date. So I'm open to a public meeting, no doubt, to hear the concerns of the citizens.
And I have no, you're more than welcome to use my council chambers, and we'll have it here if you like, and,
Yeah, perfect. If any, you know, whatever, if it's you know,
Might
it
be
might be
big
too
turnout.
big.
Right.
Too big
But
to
this,
go to the gym.
so I just want, you know, it may, you know, the public is really, you know, wants an update, and we're having I didn't realize this was hit a nerve, but apparently this bridge being out has it struck a nerve.
absolutely.
And we just want to
There's
come,
people accusing us that we hide these guns.
I don't want to get involved. I don't want to have any controversy. I just want to have an update. So I don't want to have any controversy. I just want to move this thing forward and completion.
To defend DOTD, I mean, if we put this contract out for bid and this was a little bid and we cancel, we probably would have hired them too. We'd be sitting in the same situation.
Yeah.
I don't,
They just point at us.
Yeah. So
I don't know Bucktown contractors or pile driving or whatever. Never had any experience with, but from the letter Councilman Asbill read, unforeseen conditions is underground conditions that nobody envisioned. The contractor couldn't know that. They rely on drawings provided by the state or the parish's professionals. So I think this is truly one of those situations where nobody knew what was under the ground and they encountered some error. It doesn't get us there any quicker, but I don't know that it's fair to blame the contractor. And I'm familiar with low bid contracts too and the results. They can be a real, they can create difficult situations, but in this case, if it's truly unforeseen conditions, you can't really point the finger at the contractor.
no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not here to,
No
to point any
We want it
fingers.
resolved.
I just want to hear. I just want to. This is the vice president of the Civic Association, Gene Hado, and he would like to say a few words as well. So-
The Jefferson Parish Council recently passed a resolution on the 24th of February, passed unanimously. One of the sections, of the resolution, that the Louisiana Department of Transportation be hereby requested to provide additional incentives to their contractor to expedite this project completion, such as overtime and 7-day-a-week work schedule. Now, to both of you made a comment that you're in construction. I'm also in construction. The thing that most people do not understand is that when a project is put out for bid, it is put out on a competitive basis. When there is a change order on a contract, it is not competitive. My concern is that where we're gonna wind up paying for this bridge and how much, I don't want another performing arts center like we had on Airline Highway.
And we agree with you,
God, I hope not.
and I'm prepared to point fingers, because basically I believe this job was awarded in November. So when the job's awarded, you should order the materials, have all your materials. You know, I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we'll be happy to help our friends over in unincorporated River Ridge.
On the other side of the canal.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right, approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on February 24th.
Okay, do you have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Do you want to open for public hearing? I'm going to open for public hearing. Anyone wants to come speak with the approval of the minutes? No one comes to talk. We have now closed public hearing. We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is passed. Madam Clerk?
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on February 24th.
Okay, now, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy to approve the minutes on February 24th, 2021. We'll now open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved.
All right, now we're going to do proposed ordinance number 2021-5. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
I'll take it.
Johnson. An ordinance to name and dedicate Robert Lane in the city of Harahan.
Could we have a proclamation that Councilman Wheeler is going to read for us?
Am I reading it this way? So it says, an ordinance to name and dedicate Robert Lane in the city of Harahan. Whereas Robert Snowballs has been a long-standing business in the city of Harahan since 1966, where generations of families have retreated from the summer heat to indulge in a cool treat. Whereas Miss Shirley Robert, Miss Robert, grew up in Harahan from the age of 3, attended Harahan Elementary, and resided in Harahan until her recent passing in 2020 at the age of 95. Whereas the City Council and the Mayor of Harahan wishes to honor the Robert's family legacy and commitment to Harahan. And whereas a portion of street located directly adjacent to Robert's Snowballs remains unnamed. Now therefore be ordained by the Council of the City of Harahan, acting as the governing authority for the said city, that an unnamed portion of street roughly located between Jefferson Highway and the intersection of West and East Avenues shall be named and dedicated as Robert Lane. A street sign shall be erected at the corner of Jefferson Highway and newly dedicated Robert Lane, signifying the street's renaming. If any provision of this ordinance is held to be invalid or otherwise unenforceable by the final judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect the validity of any of the remaining provisions of this ordinance that may be given effect without the invalid provision, and to this end, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared to be severable. This ordinance was declared adopted on March 18th, 2021, to become effective immediately upon the signature of the mayor or upon the expiration of the time period without the signature of the mayor.
Perfect. So I move to open the public hearing?
Okay, so we'll
Yeah,
now open
we
for
actually
public
have to vote
hearing.
on it.
Anyone would like to discuss proposed ordinance 2021-5? Would y'all like to come up and speak?
She gonna tear up. She could just come up and speak.
I'm very emotional, and I miss my mom, and I can't thank you enough. And this is what she wanted. I mean, it's what I want, and my mom was like, oh my God. I mean, she would have been all excited. Oh, I gotta get my hair done and all of that. It just makes, I really, really appreciate it.
So we appreciate everything your mom did through the years in Harahan.
Oh.
Move that microphone.
Thank you so much. You know, I built my new house right across the street, so I ain't got that far to walk. Now we just got to vote on it.
So close public.
Okay, now we'll now close public hearing. We have a proposed ordinance on the floor by Councilman Asbiel. Can I have a second? Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Congratulations, we now have Robert Lane.
Mauricio, you're gonna have to give different directions to get to your house now. Take Jefferson Highway to Robert Lane.
Can we all get a snowball mayonnaise?
Thank you so much. Thank you and
Thank
your family
y'all.
so much for being such a part of this great city. We are so honored to have you guys. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk.
All right, there are no communications and resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2021-1. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill. A resolution authorizing and instructing the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Harahan to hold a public hearing on the potential adoption of an amended and restated development for the residential and commercial redevelopment of the former Colonial Golf and Country Club. It's the amended and restated development agreement. And a full copy of the proposed amended development agreement is available for public inspection at Harahan City Hall and on the city website, www.harahanla.gov.
Okay, we will now open for public hearing. Anyone like to come forth and discuss this resolution?
Hey, Danny McCarron, representing JW Colonial. I actually don't have any presentation. I just wanted to make a request right now that I'm able to respond to any comments or questions after the public hearing.
I'm sorry, what did you say, sir?
That I would like a chance to respond to any questions or comments after the public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do have one. Oh,
Okay.
no, that was,
Ms. Judy's
Okay, so we'll now close public hearing.
We have one. sorry.
I have an emailed comment from Dr. Foster L. Wade. Dear City Council members, as a brief introduction, my name is Foster Wade. My family moved to Harahan on Ashlon Drive in 1961 and has remained the owners of the same home ever since. I went to Harahan Elementary, Jefferson Middle School, East Jefferson, Bonneville High Schools, LSU, and Tulane. I earned a PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering from Tulane University. As part of my career, I had the honor and privilege to serve as an appointee under President George W. Bush as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Land and Minerals at the U.S. Department of the Interior. Included in my responsibilities was the oversight of the development and implementation of land use management plans for federal lands. 1 of every 5 acres of land in the United States is owned by the federal government. The goals of modern land use planning often include environmental conservation, restraint, and urban sprawl, minimization of transport costs, prevention of land use conflicts, and a reduction in exposure to pollutants. For full disclosure, I am interested in purchasing a lot and building my retirement home in the new development of the former Colonial Golf and Country Club. I commend the developers of the former Colonial Golf and Country Club for working with the City Council and other interested parties to develop a plan that provides for multi-use of the land while supporting the goals of modern land use planning. The plan includes commercial development along Jefferson Highway, which provides goods, services, and jobs in the community, as well as an increased tax revenue to the city of Harahan. The residential area of the plan expands the availability of homes for families to enjoy our city while providing additional property taxes and support for our local businesses, churches, schools, and organizations. Additionally, there are the green spaces, which preserve the beauty of the open spaces and trees while still providing for the flood protection from stormwater runoff. This is a well-considered multi-use of the land and is unique to the city of Harahan. During my 60 years since moving to Harahan, I have not seen another development that addresses the goals of modern-day land use planning. I urge the Harahan City Council to take the necessary actions to turn this plan into a reality. Thank you for your time and consideration. I would also like to thank you for your service to our city and community.
Thank you.
Okay. No one else? Okay, we'll now close public hearing. You want to come? What? All right. Anybody else? All right, we'll now close public hearing. All right, council discussion?
So as a little background, the developers in the city have been working on the amended development agreement for about 4 months now, going back to last year. And all this resolution does is it follows, it sends it to planning and zoning for a public hearing as required by state law. And then after that public hearing, it'll come back to the council for approval.
I have a couple of questions and a couple of comments. One, I'm curious as to the mayor's role in this. Mayor, is this the contract you're proposing for the council and to approve?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I've reviewed it today, and I see some good and some bad. Am I to suppose this is the final deal, or are we going to discuss changes between now and approval?
Between now and approval, I think I would expect some discussion on changes.
And here's my comment there, I think that's appropriate. If it goes to planning and zoning, and in the next month, we negotiate any changes, I think it's got to go back to planning and zoning. So while I understand the effort to be efficient and to move this along as quickly as possible, I think we all agree with that. I think it's premature to send it to planning and zoning because we may be asking that board to review a modified agreement. So that's my comment, and
Well, I think, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the way state law has it written is that it has to go to planning and zoning for a hearing before it comes to the council for approval. And we can't.
Correct,
And
but
we can't rightly sit down and consider it outside of an open meeting. That has to be done in a public meeting.
well, the city's negotiations so far have been outside of a public meeting. My comments, which were developed this afternoon, can be relayed in a private meeting, or we can relay them next month, in which case, if we have any subsequent amendments, it's gonna push everything another month. So I hear what you're saying, but yes, this was negotiated, and that's how contracts are done, not in a public meeting. I've got some, again, I see some good in here, and I see some things that I think need to be addressed. And it's quite possible that other members of the council and the mayor would agree. So I just think it's, if we're to assume there's any changes, it's gonna have to go back to planning and zoning.
Right, but, okay, perhaps, but I think to get, before we make changes, I think we want the public's input. So to get to that point, I think we should have the public hearing at the planning and zoning to send it to them, to get the public's input. And then if you want to make changes at the next meeting, then we'll go from there, I guess.
Is the
If
resolution
we
the
have
proper
to
way
go-
to go, or should it be an ordinance to?
Sir?
Right.
Is the resolution the proper way to go, or should it be an ordinance to send it to the zoning board?
The state law doesn't say that. It just says that it needs to be considered at a public hearing. It doesn't even say we have to do it by resolution. But that's the only way that I can see doing is instructing them to do it, because there's no formal application for a development agreement or anything like that. So the only way I could see to do it was by ordinance or resolution, but obviously the gist of it here was to get it to them as quickly as possible.
You know, I know everything in the past with Colonial have always been an ordinance that we brought forward, and then it went to the zoning. And then after they did their discussion and whatever they decided, then it would come back to us. I just don't know, you know, resolution or ordinance makes a huge difference. I mean, I think it does, but.
If we want to do it that way, we could scrap the resolution and, you know, have the first reading on the ordinance tonight, and they would consider the ordinance, which is the same document.
Right.
But I was just being overly cautious by putting a resolution out there to send it to them.
Right. But either way, I mean, it's gonna come back to us. They're gonna have the hearing, and it's gonna come back to us for the vote anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, I think the proper way to be an ordinance myself.
It
but
is an ordinance, it's both. No, it's a resolution.
It's just a resolution.
Ordinance at the bottom for first reading.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Yeah.
So
All right.
you are correct.
Okay.
There is an
My
ordinance.
apologies.
I'm sorry, we were talking past each other. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah. I must have overlooked that one.
Where?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm not
The
following you, sir.
introduction, right here. It's on the ordinance, introduction. I overlooked it.
Well, we're technically at a resolution.
Yeah, it's a resolution to send it, but I think the resolution might be overkill though, huh? I mean,
It
we could
probably
really
is,
just do
but
the ordinance and it
better safe
automatically
than
sends
sorry.
it to them.
I believe better safe than sorry.
I'm missing that reference, but it's not important.
Yeah, that's, ordinance first reading. On the next page. Right there.
Well, no, that's a separate document.
Right, but he's saying that he's being overly cautious.
Oh, I'm not
That's what he's
arguing with
saying.
Councilman
Yeah,
Asbill, I'm just saying that this is a resolution. We're
Right.
talking about the resolution right now, there is an ordinance with similar wording.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
You want to take recess, Mayor? You had to step out for 1 second.
So the main reason is just being overly cautious. It's the same exact thing as the ordinance. I
That's
mean, the
right.
ordinance, I think, it should be sufficient enough to
Right.
allow it to go to plan and zoning, but you just want to take this extra step just to.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
It may become a fluid document for a moment, you know, and we may have to go back one more time, but in an effort to get it out to the public, I think that, I think it's an earnest effort to get it out to the public and start dialogue, since, you know, this is such a, such a unique situation that we find ourselves in, developing this tract of land.
Right, and I am agreeing with Mr. Tommy also, is that if we do send it and they send it back with amendments or whatever needs to be, it will have to go back to
It'll
them.
just go back to
Yeah.
planning and zoning again before it comes back
And
to
then
us.
come back to us.
Correct.
So,
Well,
I don't think
we're
there's
just getting it
any
started.
cost,
getting it
other
started,
than the
right.
fact that we'd be asking our planning and zoning board to meet twice on something that,
You good?
if we could do it differently, they could just meet once on.
They
But-
have some suggestions as well.
Correct.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
So worst case, y'all would just meet again in May, potentially?
Are we waiting on Councilman Chatelain to get back?
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Move for a 5-minute recess.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. We'll take a 5-minute recess.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting back to order
Guys, I apologize.
at 7:39.
Accepted.
Okay, so we were in the middle of council discussion.
You know, as to comments, Mr. McLaren asked about questions. I've got 15 or 20 comments and questions, and I'm happy to do them tonight. I'm happy to do them after the council meeting. You know, normally we don't, first readings and resolutions, we don't discuss in detail, but I'm happy to proceed however the council would like.
It's up to you. Sure, I mean, it's full discussion because it's a resolution, so it's up to you,
Well, I'm not, my comments more in the ordinance, I mean, same document, right? I mean, a
So
resolution
they're on the,
sending
your
the
comments are on
ordinance.
the ADA.
Sir?
Your comments are regarding the ADA?
Yes, correct. Not the wording of the resolution, but the ADA. So, again, I'm happy to do it in public tonight. When we do a first reading, we don't normally discuss ordinances, the details during first reading. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because Mr. McLaren is asked if we had questions. Happy to meet with you later.
So we'll just follow protocol, and we won't bring it up for discussion tonight, and maybe
Perfect.
you and Mr. Dan can have a.
Perfect.
a private meeting.
Well, maybe Mr. Danny and I and you.
Perfect.
You know,
I'm in. You know,
it's your party. Your name's all over it.
Yes, sir.
You're in discussion.
Well, I just. Yeah, I just want to be clear, I'm happy to stand here and answer questions, like, I'm happy to do it. So, if you want to let me do it, happy, yeah. Well, I want as much on that video with me answering questions as possible.
If you, I mean, if you, look, up to you.
On the other hand, it might be here all night. It doesn't matter to me. I'm also happy to stay after. I want to for the record say, whatever y'all want to do is what I want to do.
Thank you.
So I would love to sit in that meeting. Two councilmen there.
I'm happy for you to participate.
Okay. So we'll go back to following protocol, and we'll have our discussions, and we'll be ready after planning and zoning has theirs, and we'll be ready to discuss at the next council meeting. Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, a resolution to send this, proposed ADA to planning and zoning.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Planning and zoning will receive this at their next meeting. We'll review.
Thank you.
Okay, proposed resolution number 2021-2. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan authorizing the mayor to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with Stranded South LLC to host Harahan Music Festival at Sarang Park.
Okay, we'd now like to open the public hearing, if anyone wants to discuss, proposed resolution 2021-2.
I believe Ms. Judy said that you
Got somebody coming in?
Yeah,
on that also.
Yeah. Yeah, she sent email on it
she's got
also.
a comment. but we can
Just-
bring
just
that
a
up.
comment.
Looking at one.
Okay, at the bottom.
Oh, thank you.
Please state your name and address.
Evening, everybody. My name is Serge Villanova, 53 Red Pass Avenue. I appreciate everyone on the council, Mayor, for considering to grant me this permit for this event at Zerang Park, or perhaps a different location, if logistically that made sense from anyone who had an opinion. Special thanks to Mr. Asbill for his assistance in helping me organize the proposal for this event. In order to provide a fun and safe day of entertainment and positivity for the local community, in order to highlight the city of Harahan as a prosperous and vibrant place to live and do business, and to provide much needed work for our treasured culture bearers, local musicians, who many still are on hard times, while raising donations for the local food bank, St. Rita, not the church, as they're two different entities. This will be a food drive as well. We would like to host this music festival, a small but significant event at Zerang Park, perhaps in late April or in early May. The entertainment we're planning will be financed solely by my company, Stranded South, a music and media company that I run. We will be looking for local sponsorships from local businesses. I've been in touch with many. I have some strong leads. And again, all the potential profits from the sponsorships will go directly to St. Rita's Food Bank. We'll be asking for canned items in lieu of an entrance fee. The sponsorships will help us keep the event free. That being said, not only would I like the city to grant me this permit for this event, I would also like the city of Harahan to be an official sponsor of the event with the pledge of a Tier 1 sponsorship of $750 to $1,000, in addition to covering the cost for the mandatory police detail that Chief Walker will be providing, and whatever is deemed necessary for that detail for this event. I think people are ready to get out and be under the sun and listen to some music and have a good time. Thank you, everybody, and appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
While you're up here, guys, I just have one question for you. How big do you expect this event to be? Is Zerang Park going to be big enough for you?
We're going to close off the perimeters, as Mr. Asbill recommended, at Camden and Wilson Streets. That'll widen the perimeter a good deal. I was thinking 100 to 200. Chief Walker predicts more. There could be more.
Right.
If there is a maximum capacity, a plan that is being considered regarding that. I am looking for some direction from the city regarding this, and he's been great in offering that thus far.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no one else coming to speak, we'll now close public hearing. Before Councilman Asbill speaks, I just want to make a couple of comments real fast. When Councilman Asbill brought this to me, and we've been trying to do this unique thing here, we're trying to make the city, grow and prosper, as well as, keep hometown. We want to, hometown's been kind of a new philosophy I've been working on, and so when he brought it to me, I'm like, wow, we could be more hometown, then this fits right into the philosophy that I'm, that I've really been envisioning for the city, to get people back out of their houses, get people outside, get people, listening to music. It helps so many venues and so many people. It's therapeutic. It gets neighbors outside talking, and we'll have, guests that will, eventually at some point, come to our restaurants and stay in our city. It gives us an opportunity to showcase Harahan for everyone who doesn't live here now. So thank you, Councilman Asbill. I think it's a great idea. I'm in 100% support of it. And whatever we gotta do to move it forward, you let me know.
Thank you. Yeah, so the resolution is a CEA. Obviously, it can be amended, but the council is just authorizing a sponsorship for the event in the amount requested by Mr. Surge and the police detail. And I think that just to kind of go over some of the other details, he's got some band ideas lined up, but parking will be available behind BMNU. We've talked to the parish and about parking behind the BMNU on the Dickory right-of-way that's not developed yet. We would offer police escorts across Hickory Avenue, so there's one point of entry, so people aren't running across Hickory Avenue. We would barricade the boundary of Hickory Avenue so that if kids are around or if people do start moving towards the street, the barricade will stop them. He's talked to Causes, who's going to provide, who's offered to provide electricity. I think we also we have the ability to offer them perhaps a generator to run power through rather than running cord across the street, if that's something that the council would consider. And I just think this would be a great, Zerang Park is a great spot to bring some business to a couple of those businesses around there and just provide them an opportunity to make a little money that maybe has been lacked since.
Yeah. And I agree with you there. You have a couple businesses there that can definitely benefit off of this. My concern is, just as I brought up, is the amount of people that are going to show.
Right.
I know we don't know for sure. It might be 100 people. It might be 500 people, you know, and that's my concern doing it at Zerang Park. It's just that it's so small and you can only fit so many people there.
I will say, and I'm sorry, I thought I sent the proposal along to be sent to you. I guess maybe I missed it. But I will say some of the bands that he has in mind, they're not going to draw huge crowds. It's,
right. But anybody wants to get out and do live music right now, especially with everything,
I think it's
everybody
draw
locked
more
up
than
for a
what
year.
we expect, more than what we think. But I don't think they're going to be huge crowds coming out for it. And if there are,
We hope
I hope they are. I guess.
Right, absolutely. Right, you hope they are. Right, absolutely.
But I also hope that it's enough for Zerang Park to contain. And I really don't. I don't think there's any way to anticipate what it's going to be.
Do you have all the commitments from the bands that you are thinking may participate in this?
I'm unable to really go forward with those commitments without the approval.
So maybe what we could do is if we hear a final count, maybe if there's 5 or 10 bands or something, maybe then that might be a deciding factor of whether we might.
2 to 3 bands.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I think the location should be okay.
Yeah, 2 or 3 bands.
I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be good.
Questions, I mean, I know we requested a $750 donation.
Yeah, so the actual request is $1,500. That's to cover the sponsorship and the police detail, because we can't pay the police detail. We're going to pay them to hold the event. We're going to pay Stranded South to hold the event, and they're going to pay their police detail.
Yeah.
We can't pay the police detail in their normal checking process because we would have to pay overtime and all that other.
I'm just wondering if that should go through the city, or if we should just privately donate for the city.
That's what I was thinking, if each one of us did a private donation, I just think it's gonna be a little.
Right, to cover it.
All this money that the
Right.
city
Okay.
offers. I mean,
Right.
So it takes
I'm
$1,500
prepared to donate $200.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll donate whatever's needed.
$300?
Well, yeah, if you take, you would have to divide it,
Yeah.
divide it equally, I guess. Or if
Yeah.
we each put up $300, that's 18.
Right. I have no problem with that.
Chiefs, that's 7. Hold on.
Eh,
Gotta get my calculator out.
yeah, I-
1,500 divided 7.
I know some citizens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
It's about $215.
Especially when
a
we're tight
person.
with money right now, $1,500 is a big deal, so, right, I'm all for a private
Yeah, I'm
donation.
good.
Yeah, I think we're all comfortable putting.
All right, so it'd be the 6 of us plus the chief would be 7. We would be willing to pay the $1,500
Thank you so much.
personally, instead of the city paying it, we'll pay it. You need to amend that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can make the check out
Stranded, yeah.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
No, we would make the check to you to Stranded South. We'll get all the information, right?
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Hold on, stand by. We're gonna have to amend this thing.
All right.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to amend this resolution.
yeah, we got to amend it, yeah.
And I've got a couple of comments on the resolution itself. I'm favorably agreeable. It's a little redundant. I think this is a great idea. I learned about it yesterday when I was going through the packet, but I think it's a wonderful idea and I support it. I think there's a little cleanup to do in the agreement, particularly in the insurance section. You're gonna buy insurance, we'll make sure we get, Harahan gets the benefit of it. So there's a little cleanup in there that I'd like to suggest. And a couple other little cleanup definitional things. We use 2 or 3 different terms for the same thing, Jason. So I'd be happy to sit down with you tomorrow and.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I hijacked this CEA from the parish.
Well, there's a lesson there.
But I will say I did send it to Serge a couple of weeks back regarding the insurance section, because that was my main concern, was insurance and indemnity.
Yeah.
And he does have a policy quoted, and he's just waiting for a date to purchase that policy. And it's in accordance with the contract. I don't know what the specific, the insurance, and I talked to city attorney about it. The insurance section seems sufficient in this to us, but if you're,
I've got a couple of comments I'd like you to consider.
okay.
All right. So you want to make the motion to take the 1,500 off for that right now, or?
Yeah. Move to amend to remove, and I apologize I didn't number, but the second to last paragraph on the page. Further, the city authorized an expenditure of $1,500 for the purpose of
On the first
sponsoring this event.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay,
looking at
Gotcha.
this.
Do you need to add language in there?
This-
Just removing it completely?
Yeah.
Is a resolution, again, the proper form to authorize the mayor to sign a contract?
That's the way we've done it in the past regarding other CEAs, for example, with the HAA and other contracts.
Well, then, if we want to go through this tonight, I'd like to, I know we're shooting for an April, possible April 17th event. So
Right,
it
so we
doesn't
would
happen
have
tonight.
we would have to vote on it tonight.
We'd have to vote on it tonight.
So before we move on, I'll second your motion to take that 1,500 off.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to remove the city and that $1,500. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. City
Uh,
removed.
Let me ask this, Mr. Stansberry, is it possible to pass this resolution in a substantially similar form so that those administrative edits can be made in the future? Or would you not recommend that?
Full resolution,
What's that?
full resolution, and we're waiting for the insurance contract too.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that, Scott.
I said for a resolution, if it's substantially the same, I think that'd be okay, especially since we're waiting for the insurance contract.
Just gonna make it predicated on.
Predicated on
the
the
insurance contract or whatever.
I don't think any of the changes I'm talking about would be deemed substantial. You know, other than some cleanup in the insurance, but it's almost
Okay.
definitional.
Perfect.
Like defining the service, we use work, service, or something else. You know, just get it all defined, so I think if we can pass a resolution tonight and make changes that aren't deemed to be substantial, and we're in compliance with the law, then we can certainly do that.
Perfect. Then I move to to adopt Resolution 2021-2 as amended in a substantially similar form as administratively amended in the future.
Second.
So we open it up for public hearing?
We should open that up for public hearing.
We'll now open the public hearing. All right, I'm going to be full, but not for the public hearing. A motion on the floor by Councilman Masville,
Second.
second by Councilman Wheeler, to approve 2021-2 as substantially amended,
As amended
as amended,
in a substantially similar form.
in a substantially similar form. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Approved. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Does this lock me into the date? Yes.
No,
Well-
it doesn't lock you into the date.
Okay.
It doesn't lock you into the date because that's a change we can make that would not
All
be
right, thank you very
substantial.
much.
Right.
Appreciate it.
But you're gonna have to probably pick a date or give us a couple of dates so we can put a either or in here. At some point in time, you're gonna have to probably lock into a date.
Right.
And the
Well,
priority is gonna be, as long as the police department has the manpower to handle it.
Right.
So it'll, coordination.
Mayor, before we go on, there was a comment that was sent in by a citizen regarding the resolution for the musical festival, and I apologize. I just wanted to read it real quick. So this came from Judy Johnson, one of our citizens, was asking, why are we paying for the privilege of having a music festival to be held at Zerang Park? And how much is this costing the taxpayers? Well, as you can just see, the citizens, the council decided it's not burdening anything on the citizens. We're taking the responsibility of the fee. So I just wanted
And
to.
I'd like to point out, it was really clear in the proposed ordinance that the city was gonna contribute $1,500.
Well,
So-
I guess maybe her argument is, why are we paying to have this come here? Well, that's true. But just so you know, again, it's not costing the taxpayers anything. Between the council, mayor, and the chief police, we're dividing the costs. We're paying for it ourselves. So there's no cost to the taxpayers. And I'd be honest with you, as a taxpayer, I don't think anybody would complain about bringing a festival to the city that's gonna ultimately probably generate more money for this city in a time that probably these businesses certainly need it.
And
So.
the funds are gonna come to the food pantry.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're very excited. I hope you much success, and we will certainly be there. Just let us know about the date and where we need to send the payment in,
yeah.
and we'll go from there.
I believe he explained, whatever funds he raises is gonna cover the expense. Any extra money will go to
The food bank.
the food bank.
Yes.
Right. And then you said you're also accepting canned goods in lieu of an entrance fee.
Yes, a giant food drive.
Right. So, this is a win-win for,
And it's a
yeah.
desperate time.
Okay.
Food
All right.
pantries will love
I
it.
just wanted to
Absolutely.
read that.
Thank you, council, mayor, and chief. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2020-25. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Asville. An ordinance approving the preliminary re-subdivision plat of Lot A2B1, Sony Atchapatula subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, into Lot A2B1A, Sony Atchapatula's Plantation subdivision, and lots 9 through 14, Colonial Place, Phase 1, all pursuant to a plan made by Ronald Clement, PLS, dated September 24th, 2020.
Okay, anyone want to speak on proposed ordinance 2020-25, please come forward.
To preface, I will offer to defer this tonight as you come to speak. Just keep that in mind,
Okay, this ordinance will be deferred.
perhaps.
Perhaps.
It will be deferred.
Under consideration to be deferred.
It's in consideration.
Anyone comes before, we'll now close public hearing. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Masville to discuss, to defer 2021-25, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays, it is deferred.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2021-1. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asville and seconded by Councilman Johnston. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana.
Mayor, public hearing is now open. Anyone want to discuss proposed ordinance 2021-1? All right, anyone come to speak forth? Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
I received some new information. Unfortunately, the chief's not here again tonight, but maybe I have some amendments that will allow us to get through this tonight. I have received some new information regarding the appearance bond fees. As it's codified on our code website, whatever that is. It doesn't specify that, funds from the appearance bond fees have to be dedicated. But the chief, brought to my attention a previous ordinance that says that it does have to be dedicated. So I've made some changes here. I'm basically eliminating line 20 and 21, and eliminated lines 29 and 30. It basically gives us the actual, increase over the budget, over what was budgeted on that real estate receipts.
So eliminating 20, 21, and 29 and 30?
Yes, sir. It's decreasing the accounting services, which we spoke to Mr. Attorney on about, that he can, live within that budget, and, eliminating grass cutting at the senior center, and then increasing the fire department salary line to provide for an additional fireman, this year. Move to make those amendments.
So, Councilman Asbill, I think I understood what you said, sir. Eliminate line 20 and 21, which are the appearance bond amount, definition and amount, and then 29 and 30, which is the capital lease line, and 45,000.
Correct.
Did you say
Oops,
you would increase line 33, or you just leave it at it?
No, that is what we're.
That's accurate because it's half.
That's
Right.
That's the only exact.
And we talked about the fact that it's a fireman for half a year because there's already enough in the fire department budget for a half a position currently?
Correct.
Great, thank you for that
And
clarification.
It's gonna eliminate a little bit of overtime.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to amend 2021-1 by Councilman Asbill. All in favor of the amendments?
Move to open public hearing.
Second.
We open the public
Second.
Hearing on those amendments? All right, no one from the speak for. We're gonna close public hearing on those amendments?
Whichever.
Okay, and I have a second by
Whichever.
Councilman Chatelain to approve the amendments. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5-0 nays, amendments have been approved. And now, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to approve proposed ordinance 2021-1 as amended. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatelain, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Nay.
5 yeas.
Nay.
4-1.
The only reason I'm naying, just so people know, I said at the beginning of the year that I would not increase any expenditures until we met the first quarter. So I'm not against the fire department or any department adding personnel or additional fees, but I said at the beginning of calendar year, and I just want to hold up my word, that I would not authorize any increases in any departments until we finished our first quarter in light of possibilities of some effects of COVID. So I'm just stating that. I'm not opposed to it, but I am going to stay in my word on what I said.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Because I'll get beat up if I don't.
All right, now we're gonna move to new business number 1. Todd Tunion, Finance Director, monthly financials with budget to actual comparisons.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Here tonight just to give a brief update on the financial condition of the city, as well as just a few other items within the finance area. And then address Mr. Buddy's questions on the capital project fund and the available funds within that fund. So the city and the finance team continue to work on closing out the books at December 31st, 2020. We are close. We're preparing for the annual audit process, which has begun. So we're preparing documents and exchanging information with the auditors so far. So that's working well. We continue to project a surplus for the 2020 year in the general fund. So that's positive information consistent with what we previously projected and communicated to you and to the public. We continue to see, the sales tax activity, which is a significant funding source for the city, about $2 million of the $6.5 million general fund budget is sales tax revenue. And so we certainly saw a decrease in sales tax revenue in April, May, June 2020 due to COVID and the decline in retail activity and other activity. But certainly saw a nice recovery in the sales tax inflows throughout the remainder of the year, and that's continued into 2021. So we feel good about what we budgeted for 2021, given what we've seen in the January, February, and March 2021 sales tax deposits. Many of you have paid your property taxes in December and January, so the city has collected the bulk of the property tax funds in December 2020, January, February, March 2021. So that's also a significant portion of the city's revenue stream and budget for the entire year. And we talked about the annual audit and gave an update there. We continue to see that completing by June 30th, 2021. That's when the audit report is due to the legislative auditor's office. And then Mr. Buddy had some questions on the capital fund, and so I thought I would walk through what the balance was, and then some of the activity in the last few years, so we can talk about that. So the fund balance in the capital project fund at December 31st, 2019, which is the last year that's been audited, was $978,000. Okay, so that's our starting point. In the 2020 year, which is not finalized yet, it's in the audit process, but we currently estimate that the 2020 activity is a decrease in net assets of $175,000. So if you start with 978, you minus 175 during 2020.
803.
823.
800,000 is where we estimate will be at the end of 2020. Fast forward to 2021. We budgeted 250,000 for video poker, and we feel good about that because that's a conservative estimate. And what we've seen to date in the latter half of 20 and 2021, we feel good about the amounts that are budgeted there. So we expect to add 250,000 in 2021. The known expenditures in 2021 currently are primarily the fire truck. So the city's portion of the fire truck was 350,000 in round numbers. So you have 800 where we project to end 2020. You add 250 to that, so that gets you to $1,050,000. And then you minus the 350 on the fire truck. And that puts us at about, I think, 700,000. And that's before any other expenditures that may come up, like the ice machine that I think is in one of the resolutions or ordinances here tonight.
So we also had 250,000 from the state. I believe we added to the capital fund, and then I believe we spent that on street repair.
So the 250, you talking about the 250 in this ordinance here?
Yes,
That has not been received yet.
Correct.
well, but we've spent it.
No.
No, we have not spent it.
Where did the funds come from for the street repairs?
There's a state bill, I don't know the bill number, but state house bill number ABC 123.
It's Act 45, yeah.
Yeah, has a line item in it, and I've seen it, it says City of Harahan, 250.
Okay, I thank you for that clarification. Did we not spend a significant amount of money on street repairs this year?
That was the money from
That
the
money came
previous
from
from the
Jefferson
parish.
Parish, and it was earmarked for street
Streets
repair.
only.
But I mean, okay, did it run through the capital fund and then out of the capital fund? It's the wash, I guess. We got the amount we spent?
Yes, sir.
So
I
it's
think we actually
Some
done a
of
little
it,
bit
some
better.
of it was, yes, and then there were other repairs, that the city did overall that were funded by the DEQ loan and paid by the sewer fund.
Yeah, but those were sewer department.
Correct.
Okay, we're
Correct.
talking about the
Capital.
general
Correct.
capital fund
Correct.
versus the sewer
Correct.
fund. Okay, so we had another roughly 250 from the parish in and out. So that's a wash.
190 or something.
No, it was
I don't think it's as much as 250.
Well, let's just say,
Yeah, I don't think it was
Either way,
did
it's a
we,
wash.
did we spend the amount we
spent
got?
that money on
Yes.
street repair.
So- so,
We're actually
okay.
a little bit ahead of it. I think we still got maybe 6,000-7,000 left in it, but it was 150, and I think that's what we're.
Okay, so that's a wash. So the current The current capital fund balance today, before this ordinance, is roughly $700,000, correct?
No,
Right.
eight.
Thank you. 8?
No, no, no.
It's 800 right now.
After you add the 250 and take out the fire truck is what he's saying.
Right, basically, once you add in all of 2021 video.
He's saying right now.
Right now.
Right now, before this ordinance, I'm coming up with 700.
That's because you're taking the 250 and the fire truck, which is gonna be this year. Not,
We finished here. We took
But
this
it's-
out.
but
So
it's
right now,
allocated.
there's
Correct.
nothing new.
It's committed.
Correct.
So it's not
Yes.
available for anything else.
It's already
Correct.
spent, it's gone.
So,
Correct.
okay, but the point is, once we put it in the capital budget as an item, it's no longer available.
Not available.
correct.
So,
So 700.
am I correct? It's 700?
Yes.
At this moment before this ordinance? Thank you, that's exactly what I was looking for.
And just for clarity, that assumes that the video poker funds come in at
Sure.
250,000, and that's all 12 months of video.
Right. But it's like you said, it's very conservative. It's,
It's conservative,
yeah.
a normal year is 300
Right.
on video poker, 300 or 310.
And to date, we're running close to our projection, you think?
Let me find that information, I can do it.
well,
And you would
said
think
You
that-
said the end of last year
Yeah,
started
last
getting
year
back.
was more than we had
Right.
amended the budget for in the second half of 20.
And I think we can assume with the COVID restrictions on lounges being relaxed,
Right.
that video poker revenue will probably increase.
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you. The 700,000
Yep.
at this moment in time, right now,
Right.
is exactly the
I-
number I was looking for.
I think the correct statement is 700,000 if no more money is spent at the end of 2021.
Yes. Yes.
That 700,000 is
Well,
If we don't,
He's just saying as of right now, that's
And-
committed and everything.
that's what's
As of right now.
available in the fund.
And that's if there's 250 in video poker that comes in this year. So to really say exactly,
Well, I'm sorry if I said it.
no, I just want to make sure it's for the, you know, we're projecting what we're going to be if we spend no more money in capital, but that's contingent upon what's going to come in from video poker, and that's an estimation too.
Correct.
So I just want to,
Right.
so,
Could be a little bit over on.
it could, but you know, you say 7 and then it's 8 and,
Right.
and you know.
Right,
so-
absolutely.
So these are just projected numbers
Yes,
on what it
correct.
will be based on what we will get by the end of this year.
Yeah.
If nothing else happens at this point in time, and we're getting ready to discuss some
Correct,
changes.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to know what the
No, I
starting
get it.
estimate was. And
I get it.
and
We
I'm-
just wanted to, I don't want us to get fixated on a certain number because it is fluent and it's subject to change.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, it assumes 250,000 all 12 months of video poker revenue,
Right.
which we feel good about, but.
Right. Definitely feel good about it. Yeah,
It hasn't happened
yeah.
yet.
Right. No. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Todd.
Todd.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
No,
Now we gotta
that was new
start.
business.
Any discussion, Ms. Tom?
So now
We gotta go back to,
Well,
2021-3.
now we move on to
Oh, yeah.
2021-3,
Yeah.
correct?
Now we actually bring it up, yeah. Threw me for a loop, too.
I just wanted to clarify.
All right.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2021-3. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman. who would
I'll
like
take
to-
it.
Johnston. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021 for the Capital Project Fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana.
Okay, anyone like to speak on ordinance 2021-3? Public hearing is now open. No one coming forth. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
so this is an ordinance that the administration asked me to put together. And it's basically distributing the funds that will be received from the state via Act 45. We just have to give quick praise to Senator Talbot and Representative Ill. They worked their butts off to get this through the House, through the Senate, and across the governor's desk last fall when they had a supplemental appropriation session. And it's $250,000. There's no dedication to it that's listed in the bill, as opposed to other areas who have dedicated projects to it. And these are the projects that the administration has recommended, the mayor and his people have recommended to take on with that money.
Your people?
Your people.
Mayor, I'd like you to expand upon, because I don't know that the public is aware of the benefit to the city of this capital projects on Jefferson Highway, streetscaping. And I guess, so maybe it would be beneficial to the public if you explain that program and the benefit to the city and the grant money we've gotten to move that forward.
Streetscaping was a grant that we came across that had been sitting idle when I came into office, and it had already been partially matched through paying engineers to start the design, and we figured it would be a great place to pick up and finish the match and start the streetscaping grant. And what's gonna happen, I believe they're gonna make the sidewalks through most of around the highway about 4 feet, and every one will be ADA accessible, and with ADA ramps, and there'll be a lot of places that they're gonna come through where the sidewalks really need to be repaired, and or them they don't have at all. And so we think it's a great program. Like I said, it had already been partially matched, so it would be silly to not match the rest of it, and it's a 20% match, and it's a good chunk of money.
So, Mayor, previous administration started this project, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if we don't do this match, it's basically the money they already funded
Will be for nothing.
for nothing.
Yes, sir.
And the total value of the project, I recall, because we talked about this originally a year or two ago before we had money to do it, was in the $1 million range, 800.
The total project was that, but we trimmed that project down some to maybe not come past the commercial areas, because it was gonna be, we can save a lot of dollars to not come through commercial and try to just keep it around the residential part. I don't know the exact figures offhand,
Do you recall offhand what our match percentage is?
20%.
So we've already spent about 60,000 ballpark.
Yes, sir.
We're putting up another 140,000 here budget. That's 200,000. If our match is 20%, that's $1 million. Just so the public knows, for $200,000, 60,000 plus or minus, which was spent years ago, and 144 that we would project to spend in the coming period. For that 200,000, the city will get $1 million of improvements on Jefferson Highway.
So we get more bang for our buck.
And Mayor, if you would discuss, please, from my recollection, or from education, the GOSEP wind retrofit grant expenses.
Well, this is another great program, again, with a 20% match. And what it's gonna allow us to do is through all city buildings, come in and make all, the outscapes of all the buildings, the windows, the doors, and even the roofs, storm resistant and storm proof. And, again, it's a 20% match. We think it's a great program. We all know that the fire department roof needs some really bad help, and we've put so many Band-Aids on the gym roof. It's time to replace that, and so, believe it or not, a lot of that money will start there, and for it, we'll get those two buildings.
For these
on
three
track.
buildings.
And then whatever we have left over, we'll move on to whatever government building needs it.
Windows.
I know the chief has recently sent out an email that there's termites in one of the termites in his building over here, and so maybe we can address some of that money there, because I'm sure that's why they're coming in from the outside.
Mayor, are we putting a new roof on the fire department with this? Is it a new roof
We're
structure?
looking at it now. I mean, it's for all government buildings, and believe it or not, the three that need the most work are the senior center, the fire station, and the gym. And we're trying to just gauge through how far we can get through the program with the funds that are available. We hope all three. So we're just gonna push to see if we can try to work every deal we can.
So this proposal allocates it to 3 different projects, but you haven't finalized that yet.
No, sir.
So,
It's basically, the grant is basically for all government buildings.
okay, and you're looking at roof structures first?
Well, the gym is really important right now because the gym roof is actually leaking in the rafters. So as it leaks in the rafters, it's rotting the wood away from the structural interior of the roof. And, so that's priority, but we also know that the fire pump on the roof is leaking, and wherever it's leaking, it's we have a mold situation where we're trying to fix that as well. I mean, both buildings are very old, and, I'd like to have brand new buildings, but, we'll start somewhere.
No, I appreciate that information. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask?
Yes, sir.
Previous administration had some engineering work done on this. Is this the same engineering work?
Yes, sir.
Because they also did City Hall and the Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the match in the city hall and the police department building was significantly more
Okay.
because of the size and the amount of windows and all that good stuff. So we don't have the money to match that yet, but hopefully, if you're a legislator on the appropriations committee for the state out there listening, perhaps in the future, maybe we can get that funded.
But the engineering work's already been done on it.
That's right. Yeah, this is the match to actually do the work.
And what's really incredible about the engineering work, I'm glad that you brought that up, is because that engineering work actually counts towards the match. So that's funds that are already been put out there to work in this program that we don't want to, I don't feel we should waste. We're doing everything we can to work every grant situation, every situation that there's funding out there for. We think we're in good shape on quite a few. And I know I'm really putting the cart before the horse, but I'm almost under the adage, if you build it, they will come.
Because we have some issues with the exterior doors.
Do you have
We
a
have some exterior door
ballpark
problems.
number for the engineering cost that has already been incurred?
I do not have engineering costs in that.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
Because
I think it was significant because they did
Yeah.
all of the property. And I said, we have some issues with some doors, exterior doors in our building.
Again, if the engineering costs are $30,000, and I'm pulling a number out the air, that would have us at $100,000 of match after this ordinance, should it pass, which would get us $400,000 of grant money.
Well, I want to tell you that's.
So that gives us
probably
a $500,000, you can make a
It's
dent.
foolish for us not to.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, I mean, we have a dire need for it. It's not like we're just gonna take this money because we have something nice to spend it on. We have roofs that need to be replaced.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. The ordinance is approved. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Proposed ordinance number 2021-4. An ordinance, the following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Shannon. An ordinance to place a yield sign on East Avenue at the intersection of West Avenue.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Please state your name and address at the podium, sir.
You don't know who I am. Maurizio Francesco, 239 West Avenue. So yeah, I was reviewing this and I like this idea of having that yield sign because I'm right here at that corner. And the cars coming off of East and West Avenue as they make those turns going to Jefferson Highway will hopefully slow them down because me and my neighbor Wendy across the street, we've seen too many accidents right in that curve. Just four accidents in the many years that we've lived there. So I like that idea of having that yield sign. I guess it's going to be east. I guess east is going to have to yield to the traffic coming off of West and the new.
Correct.
Road
Railing. Correct.
Is that how it is?
East will have the yield.
East will have the
Yeah,
yield.
It's the least
southbound,
traffic.
southbound east traffic will have the yield, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. It'd be great if it stop sign. But
Yeah, well,
I'll take the yield.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Yeah, for
Thank
the,
Maurizio, I'll work on a stop sign to get all your neighbors to sign off on it.
How many you need?
All of them.
I just think we need a large number of them.
Yeah.
We'll put something together, we'll get the neighbors to sign off on it. I think, stop sign's not gonna hurt there.
Well, yeah, it's just, it's not just the traffic, but, you have, school gets out about 2-3 o'clock.
Right.
And you have a lot of traffic, you have road airs open for the season, so you have a lot of traffic.
People believe that the speed limit's 20 miles
just
an
have to
hour.
have the main
you
area
to go
that-
20 miles an hour. That's not true. When you get to an intersection where it turns, you slow down.
Right.
They don't
So,
realize that right there. I mean, both streets are coming, you know, I mean,
And which what's been making it nice, I mean, it's a temporary thing, but some of the neighbors that live in the apartment complexes have been parking right there, so it kind of
Makes them slow down.
squeezes the
Yep.
street down, so when they come around the curve on my side of the street, they have to slow down, because obviously you kind of have a blind spot as you're coming around the corner of my house.
we're gonna send a letter to the apartment too, because they need to contain their parking in their parking lot.
Oh, I agree, I don't like people parking around the corner, I mean, I know it's servitude.
It's a bad corner.
It is bad.
It's a bad corner.
Right.
It's not, as long as it's not on my side.
You don't need a lot of people, just the main people around where it's affected by.
Yeah.
That should be working,
And
just
I
getting
think
their
that's why my
signatures.
neighbors,
Yeah.
They don't park on the street anymore
Right.
because of that issue.
Right.
They squeeze their cars right in the driveway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
Off
No
this
discussion.
ordinance because there is no traffic control at that intersection right now, and this is actually recommended by Councilman Chatelain. After I talk to him about another traffic control issue that we'll see in the next couple of ordinances, so that's all I have to say.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
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 All right, we already took up proposed ordinance 2021-5. So proposed ordinance number 2021-6. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Chatelain. An ordinance to place a yield sign on Shannon Lane West at the intersection of Shannon Lane East.
Okay, public hearing is now open. Anyone coming before, public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
It's East Shannon.
Basically the same
West
exact
Shannon.
situation. That we're dealing with on.
East Shannon and West Shannon?
Yep.
Yeah, you have a merge.
Yeah, there's and this is
Like a
from
fork.
this is from personal experience. I was coming down west, and I just assumed the lady over there had a stop sign because I didn't have one, and she almost T-boned me. I mean, we're only going 20 miles per hour, 15, 20 miles per hour, so it wouldn't have been too bad, but, you know, the city's got to have some traffic control there, I think, to fend off some liability from possible accidents, so.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2021-7. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman,
Jason, Asbill.
Proposed by Chatelain.
number 2021-7.
Yeah.
7 was Chatelain.
All right.
I'll second. No, this is,
An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021, for the capital project fund of the city of Harahan, Louisiana, the ice machine for recreation department.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Anybody who wants to come talk against the ice machine for the gym, come do it. No one come to talk against the ice machine. We'll now close public hearing.
Got one amendment from the floor, move to amend line 14. It says fire department, should say recreation department.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second
Second.
by Councilman Johnson to change line 14 from fire department to gym.
To recreation.
Recreation, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Yay.
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 All 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is amended. Anybody else? Councilman Chatelain? All right. And now we're gonna vote on proposed ordinance 2021-7 as amended.
Any questions?
Proposed by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, guys. That's what we needed.
Yep.
Madam Clerk?
Ordinances for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2021-8. An ordinance authorizing the approval, adoption, and execution of that certain amended and restated development agreement for the residential and commercial redevelopment of the former Colonial Golf and Country Club by and between JW Colonial Group LLC and the City of Harahan. And proposed ordinance number 2021-9. The following ordinance was proposed by, who would like to sponsor this ordinance? This is the Entergy franchise fee.
Renewal of franchise free
I'll
for energy,
take it.
yes, somebody please.
Wheeler. An ordinance approving franchise agreement renewal with Entergy Louisiana LLC. An old business, appointment of city magistrate.
Now, before we get on with that, again, I brought up last meeting that, about the letter, and I was told I would get the copy of the letter. I never received a copy of the letter.
Nor did I.
Yeah, that's my bad, I am so sorry. I forgot, it slipped my mind. Councilman Chatterling just, and you want the copy of the letter?
From the agenda.
Yeah,
I think we
just-
got one response.
Yeah, we got one response,
So
right.
whatever we have, we sent out, I think, 2 inquiries or
Yes,
3.
and we two, and
And we
we
got
had
one
one
response,
response.
I believe.
And I don't even know if I.
Guys, I'll tell you, I'm ready to move forward with the nomination. I think the mayor's nominated somebody, and it's at his discretion to nominate somebody. I'm ready to move forward if it.
But we
if the
haven't
council-
terminated anyone.
Well, I
have
think
we?
by nominating a new magistrate, we would. It's the
So you
mayor's
want to do it
discretion
just
to-
without cause?
Sir?
Without cause?
Without cause.
Without discussion?
Yes.
I think.
Councilman Asbill, I'm going to remind you that the council voted to get input. The input was received, but it wasn't shared with the council. It's inappropriate. I'd like to see it before we move forward on it. I don't think it's going to affect my vote, but the council voted to send letters out.
Next month, get the letter to him.
It was the request of the council. It wasn't done at
Can
the
we make sure
request
we
of the
do
mayor.
I mean, I understand that.
Well, why haven't we seen the letter?
It's my fault, it's my neglect, it's no one's fault but my own.
But at the same time, the mayor has made a decision to
And we have a
recommend-
temporary stand-in for him right now. We just want to see the letter to be able to move forward with the letter.
But the mayor is satisfied with a new nomination.
It's fine.
So we'll just ignore the process the council set up because the mayor wants to do
So
something.
how about we do this? Why don't we motion to defer till next meeting with the understanding the mayor provides the letters to before the next meeting?
I'll provide a second.
There you go.
Okay, so a motion to defer by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Chatterling, all in
Thank you.
favor?
Nay.
4 yeas, 1 nay. It's, and again, I apologize, it is totally it's no one else's fault but my own. It's been a really, really busy month with getting the Wilson Street projects done and getting all of the ADA signed. I had to walk every one of those out. It took me
Mayor, I know
days to
you've
get them
been
done.
busy. You really don't need to
Yeah, I'm
apologize,
sorry.
sir.
You can
Okay.
do a little bit more.
Yeah, you were only working until about 10 o'clock last night,
That's
next
okay.
storm.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
New business, new business number 1. Oh, we already did that one. New business number 2, request from Miss Judy Roman on behalf of St. Rita for the city to provide barricades and/or a police escort for the annual May crowning procession on Sunday, May 2nd, 2021, after the 11:30 a.m. mass.
Chief, y'all good?
We'll handle it.
Okay. Move to approve.
Okay,
Oh,
you want to open
public
for
hearing.
public hearing? Anyone come to speak? I know one coming to speak. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you.
And address the council.
Okay, would anyone like to address the council, please state your name and address at the podium. This guy again.
I was just haven't been following it lately, haven't got any updates or researched it, but I remember reading in the paper we were talking about doing a parade in May.
Hopefully. Who did that? Who did that? Yeah.
Which I think, in my opinion, I mean, obviously I'm gonna have people who disagree with me. I think, it's a great idea, honestly. Just to get back to normalcy and not what we call a new normal. I'm not discrediting what's with COVID and things that have happened over the past year, but I think it's, I already have people calling me who do not live in Harahan,
Can I park by your house?
party at your house. Okay, so I just wanted to get a feel for, because obviously you read it in the paper and it's something different, and of course people are quick to judge or whatever or speculate, and so I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, basically.
So right now, we actually started putting some finalities on plans yesterday, as a matter of fact. We met with the people who are gonna put the parade on. It's gonna be the Crew of Kings, and it's gonna be held on May 30th. We're looking at a 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock start time. So this week, we'll actually start putting out feelers to marching clubs and people who want to be in a parade, but the response has been incredible. Just so you know, we had to create an entire folder of people who want to be involved in a parade because there's a lot that feel exactly the same as you do. And again, we're talking May 30th. When we started the idea, you know, we knew it would get a little pushback, but as we see now, you know, we believe that if you want a vaccine, by the time May 30th comes, you should be able to have one. And I didn't mean to be rude or come off in a bad way when the media, you know, asked me how I felt, and I told them, if you don't feel safe, don't come. But the truth is, and I'm still gonna stand by that, if you don't feel safe, don't come. But, you know, our businesses here have been through a lot, and I'm a business owner as well as most of the council, and we think, you know, they were there for us. They didn't close, they fought through a lot, and this parade will prop them up. It will bring tax dollars into the city, it will bring interest into our city, it will put eyes on our city. I just think, man, what negative could come out of it? We have the best police department probably in Louisiana, the safest city in Louisiana. Our residents here are not gonna put up with no nonsense, so I warn you, if you do plan on coming to this parade, you better behave yourself. Because this could be great, and these guys, this is not a one-time event. They've made a commitment from here on out, and I don't know if you're aware, but Harahan's actually had a parade before. It was Crew of Jason, then became Crew of Centurions, and then now we're back, and we're back there again, and the spotlight for our city is incredible, and to help businesses, you know, to promote that one day is going to be something like they've never seen. And I don't know if you've paid attention, and I'm sure you have because you do. The businesses we're doing incredible now, but I always want to push to do better. And during COVID, just, you know, I'm not sure that you're aware, but we gained 7 new businesses. We didn't lose anybody. This team here got out and they walked out packets to every business owner. You know, we had to encourage quite a few to apply because none of us knew what we were getting involved in with COVID. And we got a few that applied. We actually had one business here that ended up expanding and now cooks for the Saints and the Pelicans, which is incredible. I mean, Pedro's down there is something like you've never seen. Cialino's is doing incredible. I mean, look, you got Connor down there at Yaya, he's killing it. The camp is starting to have events now. You got Bienvenue, you got Seethers, you got Uncle Matt's, you got, you know, who else? Who am I missing? You got Smoked, yeah, you got Smoked. We got Charlie's Seafood. Believe it or not, Charlie's is excited about the parade too, by the way, which I'm really cool about that. So yeah, I mean, I'm so happy, you know, that you, I think that you're a pillar of this community. And to hear you come up and say that you think it's a great idea, it really makes me feel good. Makes me feel like I made a right decision. And I really appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I feel, I mean, even though me and my partner, we were affected by COVID, you know, to a very large extent.
Yeah, you guys got it bad.
So, you know, still, you know, follow proper protocol, whatever we've done, you know. So, but again, if you don't feel comfortable, again, it's up to your prerogative, but I feel perfectly comfortable. I work for a company, we have all proper protocols, so I know what has to be done.
Yes,
so,
sir.
and you just
We
make
should
the
all know by
decision,
now.
make the decision yourself of what you choose to do.
got it.
So,
The response has been incredible.
Maurizio, I just want to say that in the event that the city doesn't have a parade, you can still
Have
have
a
a
party
party
at
at
your
your
house.
house.
Yeah, we're still all coming.
I'm sure we're all coming.
We're gonna put
We're gonna park on Robert Lane.
and we can make sure everybody honors that yield sign that we
yeah,
just put by your
exactly.
street.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
So,
it. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I don't want to throw water on this
Oh,
good
Lord.
flame, but
Parade.
do you have any estimate for what this is going to cost the city?
We're actually working on that right now.
Okay.
We are trying to put some cost analysis in it. I know it's a big concern of yours, and so we're looking for as many volunteers as we possibly can. I think pretty much the chief is going to help me deputize half the city, and all of us are getting deputized. And so we're gonna have Paul, the camera guy. He'll be deputized out there as well. And so we're gonna, you know, it's gonna take a lot of concerted effort. And the chief is on board with me. He's supportive of it, and I think this is something great. We're gonna figure this out because it could be something. It could be an economic boom, like, you know, that we haven't seen in a long time.
I know you said the chief's on board. I think the chief's looking for a plan.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it together. So thank you.
I got one more thing.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Just one more thing. I just kind of just want to hold my comment on it until we actually have our public meeting. But the resolution / ordinance for the colonial development, I do encourage everyone to come. It's designed to be an open forum to create transparency in the whole aspect of what's going on with this development. So I encourage, and the discussions and conversations I've had with various people, developer, council members, of what's going on with this project has not been anything to the contrary of what was been said or been told to me or what has happened. So again, I just encourage everyone to come to the meeting. It's again designed to be transparent, open, honest, civil opinion of concerns of what's going on with the development, because it is a huge part, a major part, not just for Harahan, but just in the parish in general, to have a large tract of land developed.
Yes, sir.
So,
Since you're here and talking about it, you want to tell everybody the date and time? Do you remember?
it is April the 7th.
Yeah, Wednesday, April 7th.
April the 7th is the Planning and Zoning Board
Here at
meeting.
council chambers at 7 p.m. Is it 7?
Is it 7 or 7:30?
7 p.m.
7, yeah.
Okay.
7.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, public hearing is now closed.
Oh, we should,
Oh, you got it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
email comment from Miss Judy Johnson. She said, first, please correct line 51 of section 5 in ordinance 2021-8. It reads enforceable, and it should read unenforceable. Secondly, comments for address of council. I am not in attendance this evening due to illness, but I want the mayor and council to know that I think the new development agreement for Colonial is a cop-out. After reading the complete agreement, it seems the Planning and Zoning Board is being used as a surrogate to hold the required open hearing, but not being allowed to voice an opinion. Present a recommendation, or even vote on the measure. Considering changes to the retention pond, the proposed 50-foot high buildings on the levee lots, a possible pump to the river on the Glenwood side, and unrestricted building sizes for the commercial parcels. A public hearing for the entire city should be called by the council, as this development will affect the entire city.
Okay. Public hearing.
I'll just respond to that if I
You want to
may.
do really?
Yeah, just real quickly. First of all, Miss Judy, I hope you get well soon. Second of all, there will be a public hearing in front of the entire council at the next council meeting in April. So please try to attend that if you have comments and can't attend the planning and zoning hearing. And thank you. I hope you get well soon. Thank you.
All right, Secretary's report for February. Total revenue, $439,156. And reports.
Chief Walker?
This is the staff of the Harahan Police Department for the month of February. Number of calls for service was 777. We had 7 accidents reported. We issued 185 citations for 273 citations issued. Number of charges were 273, and 7 patrol requests. Arrest narcotics were 9 for 14 charges. 8 were felony, 2 misdemeanor, and 4 for the city. Number of other arrests were 35 for 59 different charges, 7 felony, 31 misdemeanors, 13 city charges, and 8 traffic arrests. Persons and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, 1 residential burglary, no non-residential burglary, no attempted burglary, no motor vehicle theft, no attempted motor vehicle theft, 5 larceny thefts, and 7 assaults. And we'll have Easter before our next meeting, right? So happy Easter, everybody.
Chief, I want to say something real fast. I don't know what you're doing over there, but I love it. I got to tell you, man, I have seen police on the street so much, and these guys are so eager to stop and say hi and talk to neighbors, and I can't believe it's the amount of phone calls. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes, just yesterday and today, as a matter of fact. It's been, man, I don't know, it's been incredible, whatever you're doing there. I love it. Please keep it up.
It's a process we've been through for the last 6.5 years, and we're getting there
Well,
slowly.
let me
but
tell you
surely.
something.
Trust
It's
me.
the best I've ever seen. The best I've ever seen.
It'll get better as time goes on.
Yes, sir.
trust me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Wheeler?
Okay, so I was just going to announce this for Chief St. Cyr since he was absent. So next Friday, the Harahan Firefighters Association will be doing their fish fry. It'll be Friday, March 26th. It'll be at the fire station. So they're going to do lunch from 11 to 1, dinner from 5 to 7, or if they sell out, whichever occurs first. It's $10, and you get fried fish, boiled potatoes, corn, and a brownie. There will be drive-through as usual. You can pre-order. You can call 737-9957. It says they will also deliver large orders, but you have to have at least a $100 minimum order. And yeah, happy Easter. That's it.
Okay. Councilman Johnson?
Tomorrow at St. Rita, another fish fry going on. It's from 5 to 8. It's drive-through only. You're going to pull in the backside, which you go down Ray Van, turn on Berg, and then come up into the parking lot. $10 a plate. I think pizza's $5, and that's it. Happy Easter.
Councilman Johnson, the last fish fry, the fish was amazing, by the way.
That's right.
Yes,
Because I was cooking.
Yeah, okay, thank you, thank you. All right, Councilman Chatelain?
I don't have much to say, but I did get some snapshots of Facebook recently this week.
Oh.
The Harahan City Council did not hire the contractors for the bridge. That's not true information. The city of Harahan did not pay anyone to take down the plexiglass in the city council chambers on January 1st when we took office. We took it down ourselves. The city of Harahan did not pay someone to put them plexiglasses back up due to COVID. We did it ourselves. The city of Harahan did not pay for these plexiglass sitting around us right now. Someone donated them. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Happy Easter to you too, Councilman Chatelain. Councilman Buddy?
Don't accuse me.
Councilman Buddy?
I want to thank Councilman Chatelain for being my Facebook reporter. I didn't know any of that was said.
Oh, where you been?
I thank you for the
That's
response.
it. Maybe it's.
Other than that, I hope everyone has a happy and safe Easter. Stay safe. Thank you.
Councilman Asbill?
Happy Easter. I look forward to getting more information out to the public regarding the Harahan Music Fest in April. And other than that, no report. Thanks.
Thank the HPD, thank the HFD, thank my staff. We have an incredible legislator and senator, and Representative Ilg and Senator Talbert. But really, the real big thanks this week goes out to Councilman Dino Bonanno. Again, I want to thank him because he has been so Johnny on the spot with all of the water leaks that we've been having all over the place. I mean, I'll call him and he's out there at 5 to 10 minutes. So again, I want to say thank you, Dino. Thank you, Jefferson Parish. And I am so fortunate and lucky to be able to work with all of you guys. Have a great Easter and a
Mr. Mayor,
great night.
I apologize. Just a point of order real quick. I did have one more report. I apologize. We went to an event, was it last month? Yeah, the end of February. It was a shooting event.
Gunning for a cure.
It's Gunning for a Cure. It was a fundraiser event that we were invited to. And I just want to say Councilman Chatelain's been hunting his entire life.
Oh, yeah.
And this was the first time ever that Councilman Wheeler shot a gun, and she outscored him by several points.
Bonanno beat me, Kerry Wheeler beat me.
What, is
Bill
this
beat
a
you.
girl
Bill
power?
beat you.
State rep, he probably would have beat me, but he stayed the rest of the day, and he's never shot a gun before.
You know, but what matters, I beat the mayor and I beat Councilman
That's right.
Chatelain.
That's all the report. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Pay the bill.
All right, bills paid in February, $1,228,559.86. And there's no executive session.
Okay, do you have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Johnson.
Madam Clerk,
Go
on the pay bills, can we clarify that, just to indicate that that includes the fire
Fire
truck
truck,
purchase?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we can put the exact amount, just so there's no, just so it's clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was 600 and how many thousand?
649 change.
And that came out of the capital fund.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned.